Lock us in, load us in, pop in that 8-track, spin the tape. Here we go. Hey now everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Star Wars Time Show, and it's our favorite time of Star Wars time, and that is the Friday show. That's right, it's Matt, it's Nick, and guess what? I don't have Pete. He's out somewhere probably licking his balls or chewing on one of his knuckles because he wants to die. But Nick is contending with his own angry cats. It doesn't matter. We're here to talk all things new Star Wars in terms of what you may have missed throughout the week with major Star Wars news, speculations, whatever. And I can tell you right now there has been no news. There's been no news, right, Nick? Ever since Celebration, things have been kind of dark. So you don't have to worry about that. But that's why people like Nick and I exist. We exist to make our own content, motherfuckers. That's why you should listen to us, subscribe to us, bookmark us. Because if nothing's going on, we're still going to find something that's going on. So, we're going to do our fandom segment. We're going to talk top 5. We're going to talk Star Wars artists. But we're also going to delve into a few special theory posts that Nick and I cooked up this week. So, stay tuned. Strap those headphones on. Do what you got to do. Because we're here to educate you on Star Wars awesome.
Yeah, that's our primary purpose here at the Star Wars Time Show. We like to start with the top 5, with the community. You guys have embraced us so strongly since we've started StarWarsTime.net, since we went off on our own and kind of broke off from EB. The Star Wars toy photography community has come out in force to show us love, to show us support. I mean, it's fantastic whenever Matt and I can go on Instagram, open up our DMs and see like, hey, man, thanks for the support. I love hearing you guys. I love listening to you guys, seeing the reviews that are left on our Apple Podcast page. Yep. I mean, those are incredible stuff. It keeps us going when we see those messages from you guys, so keep them coming. And that's why we like to give back. We like to show you guys the love that you deserve too. That's why the top 5 is always at the top of the Star Wars Time Show Friday cast. So let's kick it off today with the top 5. We have number 1 on the list.
Got some repeats this week, which just means you guys kick ass.
Coming back, 1 repeat. It might be the quickest top 5 repeat we've ever had. Number 1, though, is Barton LTM, which is, I'm pretty sure he has been in the top 5 before.
He has with his, it was his Rambo Mall.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah. That was,
He had him like dressed in like a snow coat or some crazy shit. It was like that's what you can always expect from Barton here.
The thing, okay, so this shot here we have is just a beautiful Grievous shot using incredible
Which, Nick, I'm going to chime in real quick.
Yeah.
I am still not even sure what Grievous figure this is, okay? Because I own the Bandai model kit Grievous, and I just picked up the new Hasbro Grievous. And for some reason, this guy feels wholly unique to both of those lines, so I don't know if he's kit bashed or if this is the Hasbro Grievous without his cape on. Either way, fantastic shot. Proceed.
Yeah, I mean, Barton, if you heard the questions from Matt, if you can let us know where this Grievous figure has come from, by all means,
he just looks different from every Grievous I've seen, at least in this scale. Or maybe it's even a bigger scale, and I can't tell, but it's just the shoulder pauldrons look different, the leg coverings look different. Either way, it's not really about what figure this is. It's about the shot.
Yeah, the shot itself is such a menacing shot. We have fantastic use of smoke, aerosol. Could be atmosphere aerosol. It's not tagged in the post. But just the shot of Grievous holding the two lightsabers, like you said, the
I can
figure
tell you right
itself-
now, Nick, that's no atmosphere aerosol. This is like the shit I use. I mean, this is more than likely fireworks or a legit smoke bomb.
Yeah,
The reason I know that is like if right there in the bottom right corner, you see
Those
the
smoke
line
tendrils.
trails of smoke.
yep.
You'll never get that with atmosphere aerosol. I mean, that's a true fire burn, firework, and or smoke bomb. So yeah, this is I believe legit pyro going on here.
Yeah, I mean, shots like this make me feel like Grievous. Like I want to see more Grievous shots. Like Grievous is a super menacing figure in Star Wars, and like, you know, we got to see some of that in the prequels. We got to see it in the cartoon series as well. But shots like this, I mean, I want to see more fucking badass Grievous toy photography. Like, just because the character is so unique within the universe. If you look at the other main characters throughout Star Wars, they're always humanoid or very distinctly alien flesh type of character. Grievous is almost akin to Vader in a way.
You're exactly right. I'm glad you ended with that because, and that's even what George said. I mean, Grievous was supposedly supposed to be the model for a humanoid that has been ravaged but can be saved by machinery.
Yeah.
I mean, so he was always supposed to be like, this is where Vader, the inspiration for Vader came from. The fact that a great warrior who was damaged beyond repair could be salvaged through machinery. And that was really the concept George went with when he created Grievous. And I'm with you, Nick. I love Grievous, but like anything prequels, he kind of got fucked over in the live action. Now, when we talk about Clone Wars or even Gennady Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, he gets a lot more play, a lot more exposure, a little more backstory, and you kind of truly realize who Grievous was. And like most characters, as I said in the prequels, I feel like he was kind of shortchanged. He wasn't given his proper time on screen, his proper explanation for who he was. I mean, a lot of people don't even know that Grievous was a very formidable humanoid warrior at one point in time. He wasn't this robot. That's why he's got that meat sack in his chest and the visible almost like lizard scales around his eyes. I mean, he is an organic being that sustained his life through machinery. So like I said, that this was the basis concept for how the Emperor could use machinery to sustain a highly damaged but highly skilled Jedi, aka Anakin.
Yeah. So again, just really cool concept for the character of Grievous. Really fantastic shot from Barton LTM. Barton, if you can let us know where you got this figure. Did you kit bash it?
What line is this coming from? Is this the Hasbro? If it is, fucking even more fantastic for you because it doesn't look like it. Is it the model kit or something different? Because it just, like I said, I own both. I own the Bandai kit and I just grabbed the Hasbro, and this guy just does not look like either one.
So yeah, fantastic photography work here by Barton LTM at Barton_LTM on Instagram. Moving on to number 2. This is a new account that we've seen, and it seems like a relatively new account on Instagram as well. This is an Ahsoka, like a behind-the-back Ahsoka shot from Stargram Wolfpack. And really, what makes this shot, I think, Matt, you have mentioned this before, it's called a golden hour shot, right? Catching that sun right either when it's setting or when it's rising to get that beautiful kind of orange golden flare in the image. And the way that Ahsoka is kind of positioned here between these tree limbs.
Oh, dude, beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what initially drew me to the shot. I mean, it's a great shot, but what sells the shot is you're getting that lens or the sunburst through her legs. I mean, that's what makes this shot. I mean, honestly, it takes it from a basic shot to a fantastic shot.
Yeah, and
in the end, that's always been my eye. I'm all like, lighting to me is everything. I mean, I love the atmosphere, the aerosol, if you're gonna do it, or the smoke bombs or the fireworks. But in the end, if you nail the lighting, you're gonna have a great shot. And you can expand upon that shot with the other effects, or you can just appreciate the shot as is with the natural lighting, and that's what this shot is. This is natural lighting complementing a shot and amping it up by a factor of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I really like about this is, the position is a very casual position. You can see her, like, he propped her elbow up on the tree limb. You can see her leaning. And also, Ahsoka is not a very common figure that we see within toy photography, at least within our top 5. I think this may be one of the first shots that we've featured with Ahsoka as the primary focus. So to see not only the composition of the shot, the perfect capture of the lighting, but also that featuring Ahsoka, a very, seldom used figure, was really awesome for me. So I really enjoyed this shot by Stargram Wolfpack. At Stargram_Wolfpack on Instagram.
Oh, totally.
Well done. It
I'm
hypes me up for
always
Clone
going to
Wars.
be a fan of these types of practical shots. I mean, because this is kind of where I started. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I hate the post-processing aspect of this hobby. It is the worst to me. I mean, I still probably have 100 shots to edit. Some that may be 2 years old because I don't like doing the special effects. But in shots like this, sometimes it's maybe a 5 to 10 minute post-process job. You know what I mean? Because you already have all of the awesome captured in frame. So great job there, Stargram. Way to go.
Yep. Next up, we have another first timer to the top 5.
Too. I love
this one. Yeah, man, this is perfect. We have a BB-8 shot from Jedi Journal, and this is so reminiscent of TFA. You can look at this shot and you can almost picture in your head seeing BB-8 rolling through the deserts of Jakku.
This shot's all about its depth of field. Like, if we're gonna get technical here, Nick, this shot to me popped because of its depth of field, which means we're focused on BB, but everything else is kind of blurred out, bokeh'd a bit there. You can see in the horizon we're getting some bokeh going on. That's what I'm talking about. Like our friend here, Jedi Journal, really nailed the depth of field in the shot, and that's what made it stand out to me.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the trail, so like you're not only focusing on BB-8 like you said, but you can see the entire trail, like him rolling throughout the sand, and because of that, and like you said, because of the the blur and the bokeh in the background, like it almost like builds a story in your head.
Yes.
So like you can build a journey along with the image, which is really, really powerful. And also like the color saturation up front,
right,
in the in focus portion of it is so strong and it's so rich that really the coloring of this picture is what pops.
It's almost, I mean, it almost has a light sepia tone to it, Nick. I mean, I feel like I get you. I know what you're saying. But just knowing what I know in terms of the editing, I feel like they've almost stripped some of the vibrance out of the shot to where they're not really ripping color out, but they're toning it down a bit. I believe this shot raw was probably a lot more vibrant than it looks now, is what I'm saying. Like the orange would have popped more. As I said, it's almost like it had a very, very, very minimal sepia wash to it.
Yeah, it just
which kind of gives it a fine age, antique-ish feel. But also because of, like I said, with the depth of field and the focus on BB, it's a great shot.
Yeah,
it wouldn't we wouldn't be fucking talking about it if it wasn't.
Yeah, all around fantastic job here by Jedi Journal at Jedi_Journal on Instagram. Make sure to follow all of these accounts. These are all, again, fantastic artists every week on the top 5. Fantastic artists shared every week at Star Wars Time Show on Instagram. Next up is our fastest refeature. We're back here with Figure Hertz.
Well, hold on, because he likes this, and this is how I first introduced him. It's Figure fucking Hertz.
Figure fucking Hertz. Hertz like the car rental, like we said last time.
Exactly, right. And
but,
he definitely listened and appreciated it. I believe he's across the pond, but either way, Figure fucking Hertz. Let's do it. Last Supper, Star Wars style.
Yeah, in the beginning, in the kind of preface to the top 5, in my little spiel, I mentioned that I put a recreation shot in here, but it's not from Star Wars. This is the shot that I was talking about.
This thing is fan-fucking-tastic.
It is. It's just so fun. So for those of you out there who know about religious holidays or whatever,
right?
Easter
If you're a
just
Christian,
passed.
if you ever seen the painting of the Last Supper,
Yes,
basically Figure fucking Hertz recreated. Not even basically, Figure fucking Hertz recreated it with Star Wars figures to a T.
Yeah.
I'm talking background and posing to a fucking T.
I mean, it is absolutely perfect the way that he did this. I mean,
And Anakin, aka Darth, is Jesus.
Yeah, Darth Vader.
Which is exactly how it should be.
Yes, he is the Jesus of Star Wars. I mean, we're going to have a segment later in the podcast where we're talking about Anakin Skywalker. This is a perfect...
Zuvio. He's got Zuvio.
Oh, my God. Like, so many of... Like you said, just the small characters. Just fantastic, dude. I love this show.
C-3PO.
3PO,
and Obi-Wan, and
Red Arm
Yoda,
C-3PO.
And they had the exact same poses as the apostles in the real shot.
Yeah. That is what's so fantastic about this is that he took the time to not only get the figures set up in the same order and fashion, but to pose them the exact same way.
Look at the little fucking pieces of food and drinks and shit.
Yep. Everything.
Where the fuck does that come from? Like, honestly, Nick. Where the fuck did he find these little mugs and like biscuits and shit?
I know, like you can see like there's little stoppers. There's little you can see like
there's a little fucking fork on one of the plates.
The level of detail is fantastic. Even in the background, if you look at the background of the shot, it's the same 3 windows as the background of the fucking.
Look, dude, he rolled out like a little. That may be toilet paper, but it's like the little fucking sheet on the table.
Yep,
it's like the tablecloth. I mean, there's so many layers of badassery to this shot. It's insane.
It is.
It's
good,
nuts. Man. And that's why I shared it, and I'm glad Nick picked up on it.
Oh, yeah, man. This was fantastic by Figure fucking Hertz. Beautiful shot. Beautiful recreation. The first recreation that we featured on this top 5 that is not a Star Wars recreation shot. Again, if you haven't seen... This is why you follow the Star Wars toy photography community for like just incredible creative shots like this. Nobody... Not ever in my mind would I have thought like, oh yeah, you can recreate.
He's even got a goddamn Guavian in the shot.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, between. Oh my god, dude! Like it's fantastic, dude. I fucking love this.
It's great. I mean, like I said, it's really the posing that gets me.
Yeah,
and that he mirrored as best as Figure fucking Hertz could. He mirrored the poses of the painting, and it's everything. I mean, this is why we love Star Wars toy photography.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a breakdown of it, if you look at read through the original caption, he tells you who is replacing who. Hux is Doubting Thomas, right. Obi-Wan is Jude.
I don't even care to know that much.
Yeah,
because religion is it is what it is. It's evil. But I mean, if people want to, fine.
But yeah, just
believe what you want to believe. Either way, this is a fucking fantastic shot.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful shot here. Incredible creativity displayed by Figure Hertz. Well done, sir. Well deserved return to the top 5. Right. And then the final shot here is from Jason B. Michael, and it's a mashup shot. I'm really starting to get into these mashups. They've been in the last few top 5s. This one is fantastic for 2 reasons. One, it's a mashup between 2 fantastic properties, but 2, the original caption that Jason B. Michael here used was fantastic. So we have a mashup between Star Wars, of course, with Darth Vader, and Pulp Fiction with Jules, Samuel L. Jackson's character from Pulp Fiction. And the original caption says, "Your disguise does not fool me, Master Windu." And the good thing about that is if you look within the picture itself, again, a beautifully staged picture, Vader in the background, blurred out, slightly blurred out, his lightsaber ignited, reaching towards Jules in the foreground. But if you look at Jules's gun, there is a purple flare on it to signify the purple lightsaber of Mace Windu from the prequel trilogy.
That's great, Nick. I don't know if you've realized, I'm pretty sure in his other hand, he's
got the
holding a Royale with cheese.
Yeah, he is.
Right?
It's either the
that
Royale
to
with
me
cheese or
is
the
even
Big
more
Kahuna
impressive than the purple flare on the gun. It's the fact that Jason here included a half-eaten Royale with cheese
just
in Jules Windu's hand.
Yeah, I mean this,
and I believe, by the way, this figure I believe is the the Nick Fury from Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
but the head sculpt, I have to go with maybe an Old Boy Cuts custom. But what confuses me is this Jason B. Michael here. This is someone that has approached me through my Haywood Pop account. And it's a new account. I mean, Jason only has maybe 300 followers, so he's up and coming. But he's someone that kind of reached out and asked me some tips and what to do, lighting, this, that, and the other thing. So the fact that Nick has now chosen him kind of makes me feel a little proud.
Dude, he's your Padawan.
Like, I feel like, no, because I ultimately feel like this guy's going to be better than me. But I feel like I have given him some tips that have led to him staging shots like this.
Do you think, can you like think of any particular tips that you gave him that may be at work here?
Well, the type of lighting, I told him about, not that I use it, but I mentioned the use of atmosphere aerosol or a hand steamer, stuff like that. The Aperture Tech light. He's also hit up Zay Black Series, so I mean that's where the atmosphere aerosol is coming in. But I mean the guy, when it comes down to it, Jason just has a good eye, because I don't give a fuck what type of equipment you have or what other people have told you to do. If you don't have the eye to stage a shot, it doesn't really matter. So I can sit here and tell you that I have contributed to Jason getting here, but that's not the truth. I've just given him some pointers on lighting equipment I've used and other things I've used for practical effects. This is him using his eye, staging, and executing.
Again, beautiful creativity displayed here. Like these mashup shots and these are like this recreation that we've seen from Figure Hurts, as well as all of the other images that we've seen here.
Figure fucking hurts.
It takes a fantastic creative eye, creative vision to be able to come up with something like this. To say like, hey, it would be cool if we threw in Darth Vader and Jules and used that crossover of Sam Jackson to create this really awesome mashup.
Well, it's like I said, I need to invest in some atmosphere aerosol, and I need to just sometimes forget about trying to go too big. Because this, I looked at his BTS. This might be in a dark garage with some lighting and atmosphere aerosol.
Yeah.
But that's what gives it the atmosphere. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's the dark backlighting, and everything's dark outside of your subjects. And then obviously you have that backlight right there that's going to highlight the smoke.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot.
Yeah, I need to. Cause sometimes I want to get too cute. Sometimes it's better to be more simple.
Simplistic can definitely lead to fantastic shots.
In the end, it's not really about all the bullshit. It's about what does the snap look like, and Jason proved that right here.
Yeah, so a fantastic job by all of our top 5 artists. At Jason B. Michael for this guy here for the fantastic shot of Jules and Vader. At Figure Hurts for the recreation of Last Supper. At Jedi Journal for the great BB-8 shot. At Stargram Wolfpack for our Golden Hour Ahsoka shot. And at Barton LTM for the menacing Grievous shot. Give them all follows on Instagram. Like their stuff. Comment on their stuff. And make sure to also follow at Star Wars Time Show on Instagram. Tag us in your toy photography for features to possibly make the top 5 and be featured on the Star Wars Time Show. Beautiful stuff. All right, Matt. Moving away from the fandom section, not too much in fandom. Like you said, we haven't had a ton of news since Star Wars Celebration.
I mean, we had other fandom stuff, but we had to cut it just real quick. We do more than just resharing people's photography. I do try to find some web gems. So, for example, this week we got the first Lego recreation of the Rise of Skywalker trailer. It's worth a watch. It's fun. It's creative. It's different. And we also got another little web gem from the Arlenauts where Kylo Ren reacts to the Rise of Skywalker trailer. So,
yes,
if you're in the just kind of unserious nonsense, just Star Wars fandom, kind of like the post I shared a few weeks ago of where Jar Jar subbed in for Rey in the trailer, it's that type of stuff. It's fun, it's fan creative, it's worth your time, but not really worth a full segment on the show.
Yeah. Also, that our Star Wars Time Show Instagram feed also features all of our news pieces as well. So if you want to keep up with Star Wars news, we have bit.ly links in the Instagram posts that can lead you to the articles on StarWarsTime.net, and then we also have a link proper in our About Us section, our description on Instagram to StarWarsTime.net. So give it a follow. Lots of good stuff there. Next up, we have some Disney Plus news here. A little bit of a clickbaity title by me. I'll say it. I went out there and fishing for some clicks. But we do have the official announcement of what Star Wars properties will be featured day one on Disney Plus for those of you out there ready to subscribe. So, Matt, there were two things that were left off of this list, notably for the day one of Disney Plus, and that was Solo: A Star Wars Story and The Last Jedi. A lot of people out there, I even posted it on my personal page. I was like, hey, look, TLJ Solo not on day one Disney Plus. I got some people commenting like, oh, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Or, this is probably Disney trying to right some wrongs. But really, what the more likely explanation of this is that they still have contractual obligations to Netflix for these two properties.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yes, it does look a little shocking when you read it on paper, but it's 100% legalese at this point. I mean, the reason Solo and TLJ aren't going to be there for launch with Disney Plus is because the contract with Netflix hasn't run out. I mean, if I will remind you, at one point in time, Rogue One was also on Netflix, but if you look at Nick's post, it's going to be their day one on Disney Plus because it's no longer on Netflix.
Yeah. So all of the properties. So let's just give you a rundown of everything that's going to be on Disney Plus day one. That is Star Wars content. So we have all of the original trilogy. That's A New Hope, Empire, Return of the Jedi. We have all the prequel trilogy, TPM, Attack of the Clones, and
what?
ROTS.
20 years.
TPM, 20 years. Good stuff. 20-year panel was at the Star Wars Celebration.
I'm dropping my 20-year post coming up here soon.
Nice. Yes, Matt's been teasing us about that for a little while.
I'm gonna have to edit it because when I first wrote it, I was definitely in my fuck everyone in the prequels type of mode. So.
Yeah, he's got to take out some of the
now that I've
vitriol.
turned the page on that, I'm probably gonna have to lessen the vitriol a bit.
Yeah. So we have all of the prequel trilogy as well, and then we have The Force Awakens. We have Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, and then we have The Mandalorian.
Right, and that's really the only one I care about.
Yes, I mean, it is going to be super nice. What I'm interested in seeing is 4K or not. I assume that at this point 4K HDR is assumed because Netflix and then some of the others, I believe Hulu does 4K streams as well. So I want to know about video quality. That hasn't been confirmed yet.
Well, I mean, audio too, because I'm someone that audio and video go hand in hand to me. Like, I mean, the best experience you can get, for example, my Avengers Endgame #1 screening was on a Dolby Atmos screen because I know I'm getting the best picture and the best sound.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're 100% right. So are we going to have...
I mean, are they going to render these in Atmos too if they go 4K? I fucking hope so.
Yeah, I hope so as well. The other thing that we don't know, and kind of based on what we've seen the norm to be with Netflix and with Hulu, we don't know yet if The Mandalorian is going to drop the entire season on day one.
please don't stagger.
Yeah, or if they're gonna do a staggered release, like Matt just said.
That's kind of Hulu's thing, which I don't get at all. I mean, Netflix has proven you can have a viable business model if you just binge dump.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the term binge watching came straight from Netflix.
Exactly. So please, Disney. I know. We shouldn't complain. The price you're offering is insane for the value. Let's bulk release, please.
Yeah. The only
bulk
reason.
Release. Let fans consume as they want. No bullshit.
Yeah. The only reason that I would see that they would do a staggered release with Mandalorian is to use that as kind of a pseudo subscription tracking. Like if are they seeing watches trend up after, from 1 to 2 to 3. So if you do a week staggered release, do you see watches going up? Or, if you do a full flat drop the whole season up front, those numbers can get kind of skewed. Maybe, in week 2, episode 2 views don't go up, but you have to really kind of play the long game there to see like, all right, we're 3 months out from release. What do our full run viewings look like? So it's definitely possible that we do get a staggered release. I don't think that they're going to do it like you said, Matt, because it's been proven by Netflix over and over and over again that these full drops just attract people immediately, and it attracts them for long periods of time. So you'll have somebody watching, season 3 of Daredevil or fucking whatever you put out for 5 hours the first day it comes out. So,
and I'm not even a huge proponent of binging. I really don't binge. I mean, like Nick just said, I like the Marvel Netflix stuff, but never was I one to, a release, I'm going to make sure to watch it all within the first 48 hours.
Yeah. Same
Point
here.
is, that's Marvel. We're talking Star Wars. So if a motherfucking Star Wars comes out and I want to dedicate 10 straight hours to it, I want that option.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
From what we saw at the Mandalorian live panel at Celebration.
Yeah, I want to watch all 10 episodes back to 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 back.
Yeah. And then do it again in 2 weeks. Like, just give it another go. So I'm ready.
Exactly. I mean, motherfuckers, I've seen 6 hours worth of Endgame within 24 hours, and I would take another 3.
Yeah.
So I'm all about binging and then re-binging if it's excellent material.
Yeah, the material itself definitely has to be excellent, and I think it's going to be excellent. I don't think that we have to worry about.
I mean, what comes down to this list, everything I'm looking, I'm like, whatever. Okay, The Mandalorian, yes.
Yeah,
I own all the fucking movies. I own them in multiple versions. Don't really care. Yes, it's gonna be nice that they're gonna be on that service. I want the Manda-fucking-Lorian, a.k.a. Mando. I know it doesn't end in an O, but it makes sense. And even the motherfuckers who created it were calling it the Mando.
Yeah, Mando. That's what they call him. That's what Carl Weathers called him.
It is what it is, man. It's fucking Mando. That's what I've been saying since day one, even though it makes no sense. But the makers, the creators, the actors, they're doing it too. Let's do it.
Yeah. So Disney Plus dropping on almost every streaming service available.
And it has nothing to do with TLJ, you dumb fucks.
No. The TLJ Solo will be there. Hold your horses. I guarantee you by early to mid 2020, both of those movies will be on there. All we have to do is wait out this contract with Netflix. Those movies will be there. It makes 0 sense at all for Disney to drop every piece of content that they've ever created onto their streaming platform except for Solo and TLJ. So for those of you out there who are like, it's never going to come, you're off. You're just not in the right
It's called
mindset.
Deals, contracts.
So if you have any of the streaming devices that you watch Netflix on, Disney Plus will surely be on there November 12th, 2019. We are literally less than 7 months away.
$5.99, $6.99 a month. I mean, it's the biggest no-brainer stream service of all time.
Yeah, $6.99 a month. And not only do you get Star Wars, you get new Marvel material. You get Loki series. You get
a Disney Vault.
Disney Vault. I mean, free. All if you have a kid and they watch Disney Channel, they have over 5,000
Nick,
episodes
it's
of Disney Channel.
obscene. I mean, the value, now that they've announced the price, it is obscene.
Yeah, I mean, we were even, back probably 5-6 months ago.
We were
Bob
going to be
Iger,
happy with $15 a month.
Yeah, Bob Iger said he's like, we'll probably be lower than Netflix. We're like, okay, so I'm paying 15 for top tier Netflix.
Yeah.
We thought $10. When he comes out and says 7, we're like, holy shit. Like $7.
It's a joke.
I mean, you can, and if you want to upfront buy a whole year, you can do a whole year for $69.99 for $70.
You could be homeless and afford $7 a month.
Yeah,
to watch
you could
Disney
panhandle
Plus.
and make $7 a month, guaranteed. You got to find a place to watch it, but you'll have the sub fee covered. So don't worry about that. Again, like Matt was saying, fantastic value. All of the Star Wars content that you ever want is going to be there. Clone Wars will follow. We don't have, that's definitely not day one. It was not included on the day one release. And also, the Clone Wars from Netflix, like the original Clone Wars series,
it's
plus
gone, right?
Yeah, it's gone. Like, I don't know if that will ever come to Disney Plus.
I bet it does. I bet it
Yeah,
has.
I mean,
Disney owns it.
Yeah, Disney owns the license, so it could get there. It just might take a little bit
we
more
should
time.
see Rebels over there, Freemaker Adventures, Lego All Stars. I mean, all the shit that's on the Disney app now should be over there, you would think.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I think at some point we have to get these other series on there. I mean Resistance
I hope they
season
bring
1.
over like the Yoda Chronicles and the Droid's Tales Lego. I mean, I love all that shit. I mean, Charlie is. She's a Freemaker diehard. She loves the fucking Freemakers.
Yeah.
But she appreciates Lego Star Wars anything. So I'd love to get that stuff on there. So, all right, man. Well, kind of moving on into our... by the way, we're approaching what some people would probably call spoiler territory for Rise of Skywalker. So if you're someone that literally doesn't even want to fuck around with speculations or bullshit from two idiots talking on mics... you may want to tune out for the next 3 segments because we are going to kind of dive into some of the rumors that have popped up this week in regards to the Rise of Skywalker and some things we may see. I still think you should stick around because you never know. Again, it's just 2 assholes blowing out hot takes directly from their bungs. So you don't know if it's going to be real or not. But first one coming up here, I mean, we always have to give credit and weight to something coming out of MSW, a.k.a. Making Star Wars, because... Jason Ward, his team, they've proved that they get the scoops.
Yeah.
All right? So, and this is anything new. I mean, we're a little behind because of celebration, delays, and, Nick works, I work. It is what it is. But anyways, MSW, I believe right around the release of the teaser, they kind of came out with a new piece explaining some new possible force powers we may see in the Rise of Skywalker, which JJ... and even Daisy kind of passed to JJ in the panel. And really the force power that MSW is talking about, and they've given it a name, and I kind of like the name. And they're calling it the Force Flash Fight Power. And the way they're describing it, Nick, and I'm just going to kind of set it up and then we can riff on it, but essentially Rey and Kylo, due to whatever, their connection, be it related blood or just their connection through the Force, in Rise of Skywalker, they're going to experience these Force Flash fights where they are fighting each other physically, as in if Nick and I had hammers and we are hitting each other in the head, we'd feel it. But while they're doing this, their surroundings will be constantly changing, not only in environment, but potentially in time. The way MSW described it is these fights may occur throughout time and locations in Star Wars Skywalker lore.
Yeah.
As in, they may be fighting on the deserts of Jakku one moment, with the next slash, they're fighting on Acto. The next slash, they're on fucking Tatooine. The next slash, they're on Naboo. The next force push... they're on Corellia. So that type of stuff. So I dig it. and I do kind of see it happening, and I think the sequence we saw in the trailer may be one of these Force Flash moments where we're seeing them in an environment, but they may not actually be in that environment. It may be the Force producing it, this, that, and the other thing. The other thing I kind of like about this theory is that it kind of plays on some of the time travel stuff that Star Wars Rebels brought up.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Force can be used to take a Force user, a good Force user, a righteous Force user, back into time, and they can influence that time, as we saw Ezra, good guy, influencing the timeline by ripping Ahsoka from her battle with Vader in Rebels. So, Nick, now that I just kind of vomited that all out, what are you thinking on this concept of Force Flash fights or Force time travel in Rise of Skywalker?
I think in the context of what we're trying to do and what JJ is trying to do in this movie, give you as much of all 9 movies as possible. You're wrapping up an entire saga here. Using this style, using this new power, it gives you a way to visit all of those locations, all of those iconic locations, without actually sending all of the characters there.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful way to do it. And then also, like you pointed out, this has already been established in a way through Rebels. Like, we've seen this happen, and it would be
also through TLJ, through the fact that Snoke was able to pair these two through the Force to where they could see each other.
Yeah. And then...
And now it sounds like they're both going to be powerful enough where they're actually fighting each other, yet it's going to be across the galaxy, essentially.
Yeah. And like you said, too, in the article, this is also similar to what we've seen with Rey when she touched Luke's saber in TFA. Yep. Like, you get this projection, like this vision that takes her.
She felt it as if she was there watching these moments play out.
Oh, yeah. Like, we can distinctly remember she was standing in the rain with the Knights of Ren in front of her with bodies strewn about. Like, that wasn't like just a pure vision. Like, she felt like she was there. So it's been established. Like, JJ clearly was leaning in this direction in TFA.
100%.
And then also seeing what Ryan did in TLJ to build this Force bond between these two characters. What I would like to see, what I think would be really cool, is if they're going at it and they can't control it. Like, this, it's just happening.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know, like, if you read the original theory or even what I kind of summarized, but it's some people are speculating that in the end, if Kylo ever wakes up or Rey ever makes him wake up to where he realizes that he's a bozo, they may have to rely on this power to defeat, ultimately, what we think at this point is probably going to be Palpatine.
Yeah, to, like,
using these flashes.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they flash him back to Mustafar and fucking lava his ass.
Yeah, depending on, the state that we see Palpatine in, if it is, what's being thrown around as a rumor now that somehow he has inhabited the body of Matt Smith.
Speaking of Nick, our next special topic's probably going to dive into this.
Exactly. Like, we're going to get into, Tuesday cast again.
I did get that time we were talking about on the last special topic. I put in some time. I analyzed the Palpatine Returns theories, so that's a little teaser for what's probably going to be coming up next week during our special topic deal.
Yeah.
But it plays into this 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would definitely be down. I mean, MSW is famous for calling out things and then having them come to fruition within the movies. So seeing something like this played out, I think, would be really cool. I want to see how it's used initially, like the way that it's introduced. Is it just like, are they fighting and can one of the people do it and that person is just taking the other one with them? Like you said, in Rebels, it was the righteous, it was the light side users.
Yeah, because
who could do this.
I don't know how much people dove into that, but Palpatine was trying to influence Ezra, and Palpatine himself was trying to use this portal system that Ezra stumbled upon on Lothal. But he couldn't because he wasn't pure of heart.
Yeah.
I mean, the Force, as much as it lets people get fucked up with the dark side, for some reason, when it comes to Force time travel, it will not let a shithead influence the timeline, but it will let a righteous one influence the timeline.
Yeah. So in this case, like, is Rey able to do it and she's taking Kylo with her? Or is it just one of those things that when these two powerful connected Force users are clashing, that these rifts just open and they just find themselves places?
I think it's going to be more option 2. I don't, as I've said before, even with intern Ryan's theory from the Thrawn books, I don't think they'll ever directly reference shit that is cooked up in other properties. I think they may expand on and change, as we talked about with the Skywalker name essentially becoming an identifier, which is, that's what the Thrawn books were doing, but it just did it in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Where here, I don't think we will see the portal world that we saw in Rebels, but the concept of these Force Flash fights may be used in a way to explain how possibly Kylo and Rey can ultimately vanquish Palpatine.
Yeah. I mean, I just like, I'm thinking in my head about like when this is first in the movie, in like, say it happens when they're fighting, like they run at each other, they clash, and then boom, on the hit, all of a sudden they're back in the forest on Starkiller base.
Oh,
and
exactly.
Kylo's
Or like I said, they're on Mustafar and a big fucking lava splash comes up and they start jerking themselves off with their lightsabers like Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really cool possibilities with this.
Totally. And I'm like I said, we believe in the MSW. There's no reason not to at this point. So I do think we're going to see these. I want to see how they actually play out, because I think it could be very, very, very fucking radical if done correctly.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. So this is an awesome theory, awesome rumor out there from Making Star Wars. Could have some really cool implications, not only for the fights, but like you said, for maybe resolving the overall plot arc for this film. So good stuff out of Making Star Wars. We're actually going to move on to another rumor out of Making Star Wars. So again, if you stuck with us for this one and maybe you thought too much, another spoiler alert coming up here, potential Rise of Skywalker giveaways within this article.
And if you follow us regularly, Nick already mushroom stamped you with this one.
I did. I like, in my mind,
we cleaned it up a bit, but Nick's like, hey.
I put it right out there up front, and like I was just trying to get it out quickly, and it didn't even occur to me.
I get it, man. The excitement sometimes gets the better of us.
Exactly. So, spoiler alert. Here we go, jumping into it. So, as we all know,
and
Kylo,
I think this is 100% going to happen. By the way,
this one, like Making Star Wars is usually on point.
Service.
Yeah.
JJ fan motherfucking service Abrams
coming back, and not
we love him for it.
Coming back, not only JJ, but this rumor here is suggesting that another character is coming back in the form of, spoiler alert, Han Solo.
Whoa, hey now.
So, I mean, this makes sense to me. Like,
it does, 100%.
We could see from the very beginning when Kylo killed his father that he was struggling with it.
I believe in the book version, it was even more so. It was made even more clear. Like, it, as Snoke said, essentially crippled him.
Yeah, like it weakened him. And that's
why he took a crossbow blast to his fucking gut.
Yeah, it weakened him. He did not expect it. Like, everything that
you're not going to catch a Skywalker with a fucking laser bolt unless he's fucked up.
Yeah, mentally just shaken. And it was very clear that he was. So we know Kylo's been struggling with this ever since that moment in TFA, and now it seems like this is going to be used, you could say against him, but you could also say to benefit him, this attachment to his father.
Of course. Well, dude, the way, I'll let you set it up, but in my opinion, the way this scene is set up and described, it 100% makes sense to me.
Yeah, so
100%.
It's a perfect way to do it,
and
too.
I could see Luke being the one doing this
to facilitate it. Yeah, absolutely.
Because he told him, right? He's like, "I'll be back."
See you around, kid. That's what he said.
He's gonna be fucking with him, man.
Yeah, So Kylo, essentially the way that this scene breaks down is that Kylo is having one of those moments where he's sitting in front of Grandpa Vader's helmet.
Me, I want to be a bad guy, but I can't. Help me, Grandpa, even though you became a good guy.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, Grandpa Vader's never been there. Like, he's staring at this husk, and he's trying to reach out to his grandfather, Darth Vader, through the Force. We'll get to this in our next piece. Vader is not there. So in this conversation, something comes through to him, but it's not what he expects.
Yes.
It's Uncle Luke who is influencing him, and he gives him a vision of his father, of Han Solo, to show him that this is not, this path that you're walking down, this is not the path. Your father loved you. Your father sacrificed himself to try to save you, to pull you back to the light side. It should be noted, though, that in this vision, Han is not a Force ghost. Han was never a Force user. He was never Force sensitive.
More like a projection, so we don't know if Han's gonna actually be giving him the advice.
Yeah.
Or if Luke is essentially projecting Han's spirit through the Force.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's gonna require some sort of. It's either gonna be Kylo's mind is gonna be so fucked up that he's seeing him, or we're going to have some sort of outside Force influence.
Yeah, there's speculation through MSW that it could be Luke who's doing this, who's facilitating this vision. So now that Luke
But I guess I don't feel like it's going to be Luke making it up. I do feel like it's almost Luke channeling Han's essence is what I want to say.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's going to be Luke trying to trick Kylo again and making a puppet of Han. But as Nick said, it's not going to be a Force ghost, clearly. It's Han. But it's going to be something similar that Luke is facilitating with his powers. But it will be Han's true spirit is what I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, I could almost see this as, like, even if we don't want to say, like, projecting Han's spirit, but, like, what if he's getting he's triggering mental flashbacks to moments with his father when he was a kid?
Okay, that works for me, too. I just don't want it to sound like it's going to be Luke tricking him.
Yeah, it's not going to be like Luke is disguising himself as Han and projecting himself as Han to Kylo.
Right, but it may be him just creatively motivating Ben through old history, like Nick said, of Han, or literally Luke is that powerful that he can channel non-Jedi spirits into this corporeal form.
Yeah, I mean, through this sequel trilogy, we've now seen that, some of the depth of power that these Force ghosts have. Obi-Wan said in the original trilogy, like, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you'll ever imagine.
Yeah, exactly. And he did. I mean, as much as Obi-Wan was a fucking asshole, a lying piece of shit, he was the catalyst that redeemed Anakin.
Yeah, exactly. Like his admission to Luke about
his work on Luke is what ultimately redeemed Obi-Wan's biggest failure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could definitely see Luke being powerful enough to maybe do like you said. Maybe he can channel Han's essence into the Force and allow him to speak to his son again. Like,
even though he's not a Force user. Yeah. Luke is that powerful that he could bring Han back for a moment. I mean, not from the dead, but just as a seance type of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Almost like a Ouija board session.
Yeah, like one of those dumb assholes that fucking celebrities buy into and people pay money as if they're literally talking to the dead.
Yeah. So I really, like you said, I really like this theory. I really do think that this is going to happen because it seems like with this, Kylo has to be a very central figure in this movie. His struggle, the decisions that he makes is going to basically decide the fate of the galaxy. Like if he decides that the dark side path is the correct path and allies himself with Palpatine or with whatever this other dark side presence is.
I honestly think he will. For a little bit. Yeah, because he's an idiot.
If that's the path that he goes and sees it to completion, like he could very well spell the end of the light side. You know, if that's what it comes down to. But also, you know, the way that Kylo, you know, so goes Kylo, so goes the universe in my mind. Like, you know, if he goes dark and stays dark and there is no redemption for him, it's very possible that this just ends with the dark side fucking winning. I mean, that'll never happen in a fucking Disney movie.
I definitely buy into that 85%, but I think he would need a Palpatine to fulfill the "so goes Kylo, so goes the dark side" fate.
Yeah, I do think so.
I don't think Kylo himself could completely plunge the galaxy into the dark side.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Rey is easily his foil, if not slightly more powerful.
Exactly. But
with a Palp behind him, yes, it's lights out.
It could be lights out for the galaxy. But, excuse me, this is another one. Fantastic find by making Star Wars. Likely this will make its way into the film in some form or fashion. We don't know yet. But Han coming back, huge fan. Facilitated by Uncle Luke, also huge fan. This theory seems pretty solid to me. The last piece that we're going to move on to.
Yeah, this is one of Nick's first big kind of think pieces here. So I'm going to let him drive this one. But this is a theory he introduced during the Rise of Skywalker 4 Reasons for whatever the fuck the title means cast.
Yeah.
And I encourage him to run with this because it was one that completely escaped my mind when I was coming up with that post. And it's one that honestly, the more he talked about, the more I was like, yeah, dude, you're 100% right. That this almost has to happen. So go ahead.
Yeah, so when JJ first announced that this was going to be a 9-movie wrap-up with The Rise of Skywalker, what should have been very evident to everybody was that in order for this to be a proper 9-movie wrap-up, Anakin Skywalker has to be introduced or reintroduced into the sequel trilogy.
In the end, we've said it 1,000 times. You can look it up. The maker himself is on record saying Star Wars, at least in his mind when he cooked it all up, is all about the story of Anakin Skywalker.
Exactly. Like, if you wanted to give Star Wars episodes 1 through 6 a subtitle like you've given each movie, it would be Star Wars, The Tragedy of Anakin Skywalker.
Exactly.
You know, that's kind of what this whole, the entire 6 movies were.
The first 6 movies truly are a tragic epic for the character of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. And you know, when we get to the sequel trilogy, Anakin, aside from the Darth Vader mentions that we get with Kylo and seeing the helmet, has been all but left out.
I mean, 100%. He's been 100% left out.
Yeah,
because Anakin himself has never been referenced.
Yeah, Anakin Skywalker has not been. Vader has
only
been.
His dark side alter ego.
Exactly. But in order to do a proper wrap up, and especially considering the new reveal that we had within The Rise of Skywalker, Anakin, in my mind, Anakin Skywalker has to be present. And I will break down to you, you know, for those of you out there who are thinking, you know, well, Anakin's story is wrapped up. And that's what I mentioned in this article, this piece that I wrote. Anakin's arc wraps up beautifully at the end of Return of the Jedi. Matt's favorite ending, you know, his favorite scene in all of Star Wars is the redemption moment for Anakin, saving his son, redeeming himself back to the light side,
and saying no. And honestly, at this point, I'm not gonna lie, Nick, and this is gonna hurt me to say it, I almost think the no works now.
Wow. that almost,
because I've watched it. I've even ripped the original versions to my Plex server.
Yeah.
And every once in a while I'll fuck up and play the wrong version when little Charlie wants to watch one of the OTs. And recently we did that Return of the Jedi, and I'm like, oh great, I'll finally be able to watch it the way I want to watch it. And I'm not gonna lie, I was watching, it's like, you know what? It kind of works.
Yeah.
It kind of fucking works.
I'll
I'll admit it. It must have just been me when I was little, and just because it was a memory. But when I watch it now without the no, it almost seems like it's missing something.
Yeah, it's just you've seen it so many times with the no that it's just
I hate even fucking admitting that.
But I mean, it was a beautiful ending, and it wraps
either way,
him up
your
perfectly.
point's exactly right. ROTJ, that's my movie, and it's all because of the battle between father and son.
Yeah, and then
not even the no moment. It's literally the battle all the way up until Luke realizes that he tapped into the dark, but he had enough strength and enough light within him to realize it and stop.
Yeah.
Anything outside of that's like whatever. That's kind of gravy, but the beautiful stuff was really the duel between him and his dad from the moment his dad picked him up on Endor, and you could tell Vader was highly conflicted.
He was.
But he
Joined
was
me
such a
from
loss.
The beginning.
Right. He was at such a loss and has been such a pawn for so long that he was just like, fuck it, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I'll take you in, I'll turn you in, we'll do our thing, and the Emperor's still going to win because I'm a bitch.
Yeah, he was almost resigned to the fate.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. He was. He was like, I'm a bitch pussy. And I get it. That's my lot in life. But Luke still managed to even fucking turn that around.
Yeah. So that ending was perfect for him. Anakin,
right, but it goes back to your piece. You need him.
You need him.
You've talked me into it. You need him.
So, for those of you asking, how can this be done? What is the avenue of entrance for Anakin into this trilogy?
Well, we know Anakin can ghost, right?
Oh,
we
yeah.
know. I mean, it's been established in any lore, canon, EU, whatever. Jedis can force ghost. Sith cannot.
Yes, Sith
It's
can
proven
only
in Return of the Jedi. Anakin Skywalker can force ghost. The motherfucker just can't decide which decade of himself he wants to come back in at this
True.
point.
Very true. So so Jedi can force ghosts, and they can go about the galaxy. Sith force ghosts, at least. I mean, this again, like I'm not sure about the canonical.
Well, no,
certainty
because
of this.
for my piece, dude, and I've reinforced everything you've said about the EU, and they have now carried it into the canon comics. Lord Mormon or Momin, I fuck it up every time.
Yeah.
He's in the new comics in the recent Vader run as being the first Sith Lord that essentially, and people correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's the first Sith Lord that learned that he could pass his essence to an object because he passes it to a helmet.
Okay. Yeah. So you can definitely, so their essence can definitely stick
as
around.
Nick has expertly explained to us, in the old EU, the lore of the KOTOR days, Sith are known to be able to pass their essence to an object, a location, or a person. They cannot become the
Immortal
essence of their
within the
spirit
Force.
within the dark side, because that requires them to fully let go of themselves and become one with the Force, and that goes against the Sith beliefs.
Yes, 100%. So what I'm proposing here, and I think it fits perfectly within the bounds of what we've seen so far in this trilogy, is two possibilities. One, like Matt just mentioned, Force Ghost Anakin is a thing. We've seen it. We know he can do everything a regular Force Ghost can. We've seen Yoda come back corporeally. We've seen Obi-Wan pop up on different planets to help out Luke.
Oh, and by the way, just real quick, Nick, I'll let you go after this. In JJ's TFA concept art book, by the way, they were thinking about a Force Ghost Anakin that was a halvesy version of his true self, meaning his Vader era and his human era.
Okay. Yeah, so again, like that is something that even JJ has played with. So what I'm saying here is that, like we were mentioning before within the conversation about Han returning, Kylo is conflicted, and he's always reaching out to his grandfather. He's always reaching out through the Force to Vader, not to Anakin, to Vader. And eventually Anakin, in this one particular instance, Anakin will be the one to come to him. He will realize that Kylo has now gone down this dark path far
be
enough.
great. Like, after all these years, Anakin's like, all right, I guess I'll fucking quit worrying about sand and let this asshole know that he's been a bozo.
Yeah. So in my
That's
opinion,
typical Anakin, though, so I can't get that angry.
yeah. So in my opinion here, what's going to happen is like Vader will be proven to not exist within the Force. Like the art book shows kind of a half-see, like you mentioned, but in my mind, because Vader was essentially vanquished when Anakin redeemed himself at the end of ROTJ, he will know Vader does not exist, which is why when Kylo is reaching out to the Force saying, Vader, help me, nobody's responding because there is no Vader. There's only Anakin Skywalker, the redeemed, immortalized Anakin Skywalker. So eventually, seeing how far he's gotten down his path, Anakin will reveal himself to him at a key moment and say, I've seen you. I've seen your path. I've seen you struggle with the light, and now it seems like this is a moment, like the key moment in your decision-making process. And I'm here to tell you that this is not something that you want to do.
That. I honestly think that would. I think it would redeem Hayden himself if they use him.
I think they have to, but yeah.
It would almost give a little more respect back to Vader.
Yeah, I think it would. I mean, that just to have Anakin come back to and this is kind of going into part 2 of my, how could this happen way, this again be Anakin Skywalker making a pivotal decision in his life, even his afterlife, to ensure the survival or to try to ensure the survival of his family. So,
well, I mean, we could argue he's still a fucking asshole if he literally has waited this long.
Yeah, I mean,
he essentially has let the galaxy go into turmoil again on his watch.
Yeah, I mean, but maybe it could even be a kind of Luke coaxing him out. Like Luke is now in the same realm as his father. So
you think like Anakin was so ashamed of his acts that he cut himself off even worse than Luke did?
Yeah, like Luke cut himself off from the Force while he was alive, and Anakin has essentially cut himself off from the Force.
Okay, that's an interesting take, and one that I could definitely buy into. I mean, it's been established now that these essentially Force Jesuses can turn the valve off if they want to.
Yeah, so I mean, Luke is now immortalized in the Force, and he goes to his father. He finds him in the Force and says, like,
yeah, because I mean, why wouldn't Anakin fucking shut himself off? I mean,
yeah.
You would think if he was redeemed and understood and reflected on his 30-plus years of tyranny, that he probably would be like, you know what, I should just basically take myself off the game board here.
Yeah,
and I'll just kind of hang out in Force Ghost ethereal land and be happy.
Yeah, and it would take Luke coming to him and saying, like, hey,
father,
the heir to the Skywalker blood, like the last living Skywalker.
Hey, father, like, I mean, I know you've been kind of on a holiday and you deserved it because you were an asshole, but your grandson's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, like
he may or may not be possessed by Palpatine.
Yeah. So, and that leads us into the second possibility for the return of Anakin, and that is purely due to that laugh that we heard at the end of The Rise of Skywalker. If anybody is going to coax Anakin out of his, immortalized Force Ghost hiding, it's Palpatine. His final act as a living being was to kill this man, to ensure that the galaxy was rid of the scourge of Emperor Palpatine. And to know that he is back, and not only to know that, but to know that he is back and threatening his family, Anakin's family.
That would be motivating, you'd think, a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, if we look at the arc of Anakin Skywalker, all of the pivotal moments in his life were decisions made to help his family, or in his mind to help his family.
Yeah, you're right.
When he was a child, when he in episode 1, he said, I'm going to become a Jedi and I'm going to free you, Mom. I'm going to come back and I'm going to free the slaves.
100%.
With his fall, he did it as, again, like in his mind, he was thinking, I'm going to do this and I'm going to save my wife from death. He made that decision to save his family. And then at the end of 6, his ultimate death, he made that decision. He turned back to the light to save his son.
Well, so, and his daughter. He knew about Leia
and Leia, yeah, to save his kids.
Tell your sister
you
were right.
I mean,
you were right about me.
So in this instance, if there is to be a return for Anakin Skywalker, it would be to save his grandson. His grandson.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Let's
do
it.
Now. Yeah.
Print it, motherfucker. Shoot it.
I mean,
this kid better be right, because now he's writing a movie that I want to watch. So now I'm going to get pissed like all you motherfuckers did with TLJ if I don't see it.
But yeah, I mean, so essentially,
I'm blame Disney for fucking up my childhood.
You know, we could see the reemergence of Anakin Skywalker within this trilogy to save
Please
Kylo
don't have long hair.
From Palpatine. Yeah, just crop it a little bit. Give it a
I want to see him. I've kind of seen like some fandom art of what and I don't know where they're coming from, but he almost has the Ronin / Hawkeye Mohawk look.
That
from
would
Endgame, and it kind of works.
Okay, I mean, maybe he's like when he hit Force Ghost World, he's like, I need to trim.
Exactly. Somebody. All I want, just don't come back with long hair, Anakin.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they.
The only thing creepier was long hair Obi-Wan, and who's essentially become a meme for Jesus, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Like a lot of people think Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan is Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I love
just
that.
on his looks.
So it's fucking, that would be great. I am curious to see. I mean, if this happens, I'm curious to see how they do it. Is it Hayden? Is it the exact look that we had in?
No, I want Hayden.
Yeah,
I don't want anyone else. I mean, yes, come at me with ROTJ. I want Sebastian Shaw.
But Sebastian Shaw,
want Hayden.
Is
for
he
some
dead?
reason. I don't know why.
He's dead.
I just do.
Yeah, I think Sebastian Shaw.
I just do because it's new. I mean, I don't like when someone changes a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Literally, it was put out, and then 10 plus years later, it was fundamentally altered.
Yeah, it was such a weird decision to do that.
And like I said, I'm kind of getting into the know now, but I hate that they wax Yub Nub. I hate that they subbed in Hayden for Sebastian in the ghost shot.
Yeah.
But as I say that, I literally, if we're going to bring back Anakin and Rise, I want Hayden fucking Christensen for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, well, Sebastian Shaw is dead. He's been dead since 1994, so he ain't coming back. And so the true Anakin in the Star Wars universe is Hayden Christensen. Like,
well, and the precedent, honestly, as much as I bitch about it, it's been set.
Yeah.
So, yes, if he does come back, he probably will come back in Hayden form.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think we'd get a Ewan ghost, because that's not the Obi-Wan ghost we know.
Yeah, it would be weird. We'll have to see, yeah, how
it would be weird. I mean, would fans love it? Would you and I probably be like, yeah, that's cool? Of course, but it would definitely be weird.
Yeah. So I kind of laid out one theory I had of how this could play out, and I kind of talked about this a little bit within the last podcast, but essentially with this type of deal that we're seeing with Palpatine, if he is, like, depending on the route that they go, if his essence has inhabited a place or an object, he has to be essentially exorcised, and that's a very, very difficult thing for a Force user, a living Force user, to do. Like, you can't kill a Force ghost, like a Force essence, with a lightsaber or with a Force thing. Like, you have to banish them. Like, if we look back in previous stories, like, in order to get rid of Sith spirits, like bonded spirits, you had to banish them. So
yeah, like some itchy witchy cat's ass stuff.
Yeah, and in certain instances, other light side Force ghosts were there to assist in the ritual, like the banishing of the spirit of Exar Kun. there was another powerful Jedi Force Ghost there helping this to happen, like helping the banishment ritual. So if anybody is going to help banish Palpatine, it's going to be fucking Anakin. Like, Anakin will be there to ensure that not only has this man's body been killed, but his spirit is also killed. So if we get to a situation where it's like Kylo Rey versus Palpatine in some form, I want to see Force Ghost Luke, Force Ghost Leia, Force Ghost Anakin, all there fighting against this one true evil of the Star Wars galaxy. Like, clear, because every one of them has fought him in some way. Like, you know, if that's the case where, you know, and like Rey and Kylo are now fighting him, Luke and Leia fought him in episodes, you know, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, and then Anakin fought him. I mean, you know, in a way, like, tried to resist his seduction in episodes 1 through 3. Like, it's there. And then also, if we want to look at the importance of family, Anakin killing Palpatine is him killing his father. Like, we have to accept that now within...
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, within the Star Wars galaxy, that is canon. That is... Anakin's father is Palpatine. He would be the one to kill him. Almost like, I mean, you could argue, you know, a lot of the damage done to Vader in that final fight was done by Luke, and, like, you know, the argument.
No, I don't. I mean,
yeah, Palp killed him.
The lightning is what killed Vader.
Yeah, I mean, Palp definitely killed him.
It fries out his fucking life support.
Yeah, his suit.
I mean, Luke beat his ass and chopped his hand off, but that was it.
Yeah, Palpatine definitely.
I mean, Vader might have emotionally felt rough based on the beating Luke gave him, but ultimately, what killed Vader was the fact that he picked up a Sith Lord and absorbed all of his Force lightning.
Yeah, so...
And by the way, he is a robot.
Yeah, he's an almost completely robot body.
Lightning or any type of power surge doesn't bode well for circuitry.
Yeah, so adding in all of that, like, even bringing in Palpatine as Anakin's true father, like, if Anakin is not there at the end of this movie, and Palpatine is our primary villain that we're confronting, then I don't know what's happened. Like,
I wouldn't even say that he has to be there at the end. I do agree with you now that he has to be involved somehow, even if it's a check-in or as it's been explained, you know, hey, Ben, fucking wake up, dummy.
Yeah, like
something like that. Like, I'm not saying Anakin's got to come here and win the day. That's not going to happen. I mean, it's going to be Rey and Kylo that win the day.
Yeah.
But I'm with you now. I do think Anakin at least has to be heard, even if it's just a voice through the Force. He's got to do something to lay down his influence on this outcome.
Yeah, I think that's it has to be done for you to properly wrap up.
Of course.
9 movies of the Skywalker saga.
Right.
Anakin has to be involved.
I mean, Shmi May gave him the name. He's the one that made it famous.
So I think these two things that I laid out here they're plausible. They're possible within the realm of, you know, the sequel trilogy that we see now. And I think that...
bro, anything's possible now that Palpatine's coming back.
Oh, yeah. And then, you know... Even if you throw in, like, the inclusion of George, like George being involved, I mean,
of course,
you know, in some way with the, you know, with this movie, like, he is gonna tell JJ, like, Anakin's got to be here, like, you know, he's been overlooked throughout this whole trilogy so far.
If you buy into the maker's story about this saga, it's Anakin's story. At least 1 through 6 was.
Yeah, so, and if you're bringing back the big bad from 1 through 6, then you have to bring back his counterpart. So,
his beloved, his coveted apprentice that got damaged and never quite lived up to what he thought he could become.
Yeah, so that's my theory. I have the entire post written up on StarWarsTime.net if you want to go give it a read.
I like it. It's good stuff.
It'll be linked. So, feedback, if you guys think that this is stupid, let us know. If you like it, let us know.
There's nothing better than be told you're stupid online, so bring it.
I know.
I love it. I've been
like,
taking it up the ass all week because of an article I put on EB, so let's get it. I mean, we like that type of interaction.
we
like the nice stuff too, but if you want to hate, hate.
Show us the hate. Show us the love. Show us
Either
anything.
way, you're showing us something, and that's all we crave. I mean, we're pathetic humans.
we
need recognition. We need something, interaction.
So that's
we can see the downloads. That's great. Downloads are growing up month and month and month and month and month. So we know we're doing something. We still want a little more interaction, a little more ratings, a little more reviews, a little more just, hey, fuckheads, we don't like you, or we like this, or we agree with you, we don't agree with you. Will you ever talk about this? Can you talk about that? We're here for you, right? Bring it.
100%.
All right, my friends. Well, I mean, probably not our usual length, but also not the shortest cast. That's how we roll. I mean, whenever you turn these mics on, you never know what the fuck Nick and I are going to do. You always know we're going to educate you on something Star Wars, though. So that's why you should love us. That's why you should praise us, subscribe to us, rate us, review us, like us, hate us. It doesn't matter. Just come along for the ride and provide that feedback, because there's always time for Star Wars time. That's why we are Star Wars time. We're here to give you what you need to know to be a solid Star Wars fan. Not a shitty Star Wars fan, a solid Star Wars fan. You'll always be in the know if you tune in to the Star Wars Time show. That may or may not be our new jingle.
That's a good one. I like it.
All right? So get with it, people. We'll be coming at you with some more special topics coming up. Like I said, I did a little video on how Darth Palpatine. Who the fuck am I? Might as well just not even call myself a fan. How Darth Sidious may make his return in Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. But we're also going to, start working out on some community outreach, doing some of those interviews we talked about. So again, if you're listening and you want to come on, even if you don't want to talk about your art, you just want to come on and talk about Star Wars, we're here for you. That's what these special topic recordings will be moving forward until Star Wars Resistance returns this fall. So we're usually going to have, outside of vacations, at least one episode a week to delve into whatever Star Wars. If you don't give us something to talk about, we'll find something to talk about, because we are dedicated to all things Star Wars. All right, my friends. Blah, blah. Arbala, Zubidoo, Jabada, Zubadoo, Oshuda. Did you guys get that? I'm speaking a little Bausch at you right now, a little Huttese, because sometimes I stumble over my own tongue. It doesn't matter. You know what to do. Star Wars, time it up. We love you. Keep it coming. Here we go. May the Force be with you always.